3.
Today I'm going to be talking about Blitzkrieg of Poland. Now, Blitzkrieg, translated lightning warfare, occurred September 1st, 1939, when the German army invaded Poland. Now, I'm going to be arguing that Blitzkrieg was achieved through tanks, communication of radio, and planes, and that harmonious marriage that created such efficiency, such speed and overwhelming firepower that allowed the German army to capture Warsaw, which is Poland's capital. Now, Robert Cetino defines Blitzkrieg in his book Blitzkrieg, the Desert Storm as, quote, a doctrine of employing mechanized units, including air units, on a grand scale in order to defeat, pursue, and destroy entire armies within a 2 to 4 week span of time, unquote. Now, in order to truly understand Blitzkrieg, we have to go back in the past to truly identify how it came to be. Now, in 1917, Germany had to sign the Treaty of Versailles, in which the German army was severely limited to a 100,000 man army, no tanks, no aircraft, and no artillery above 3 inches in caliber. So what this did was that they had to revitalize, they had to go back and look at old military tactics used by Friedrich the Great, in which maneuverability and speed was a huge proponent in the warfare. Now, as I mentioned, tanks was a very big proponent of Blitzkrieg, and one of the big advocates of pushing for tanks was Heinz Guderian, author of Panzerleader. And he really made it clear that there were 3 characteristics in the Panzers 1 through 4 that made Blitzkrieg obtainable. And they would be firepower, armored plating, and maneuverability. And there's one sentence in his book that indicates those 3. Quote, we believe that by attacking with tanks we can achieve a higher rate of movement than has been hitherto attainable, and was what is perhaps even more important, that we can keep moving once a breakthrough has been made, unquote. Now, that sentence is probably the most prevalent to me during the Battle of Bezura River, when the Polish army had surprised the German army and had actually taken some of their soldiers prisoners. So what happened was the Polish 17th, 14th, and the 25th Infantry had surprised the German 30th and the 24th Infantry, who were serving as a flank guard to the German 8th Army. And the 30th Infantry of Germany alone had actually 1,500 men that surrendered. So how tanks played a huge role in this was that the German 8th Army had found out that their infantry divisions had been captured and surrounded. So what they did was they did a complete 180, showing that maneuverability and going to assist their infantry divisions. And by the 21st, the 8th Army had captured, and 100,000 Polish soldiers had surrendered by the 21st of September. So that once again shows that maneuverability, that quickness to turn 180 degrees on the spot to go help their infantry divisions. Now, once this happened, they actually did another complete 180 just on the spot, just quick and efficient. And they made their way back to Warsaw, Poland's capital, and surrounded Warsaw. Now, another key component was communication of radio. Back in the days of World War I, such as even before, the battles during the Gallipoli, Verdun, and Somme, and especially during World War I, there was such an inconsistency. There was piles and piles of paper that was hard to decipher and sift through, quick and efficient, in order to make battle plans on the spot and ready to go. So what Germany did was that they issued these radio exercises, and one of them in 1932 led General von Bonnen to conclude that there needed to be radio middlemen, that relayed information quickly and efficiently, just crisp, reliable messages. And these men were going to be trained so that their job is very, very important. And now I'm going to talk about planes, and planes was also another critical part of the Blitzkrieg of Poland. Now, before the invasion of Poland, the Luftwaffe had 1,700 planes in their air force. They used 1,400 of them, compared to only 400 Polish planes. Now, Poland had the airplane, the P-11C, with max speeds of only 230 miles per hour, compared to the German Me-109 that had max speed of 350 miles per hour. So not only was Poland battling the Luftwaffe in the air outnumbered, they were getting beat just by pure speed. And another part of the Luftwaffe that played a huge, critical success in Blitzkrieg was the Stuka dive bombers. And they would form in squadrons of 160 of these Stuka dive bombers, and they would bomb towns. And then the infantry on the ground and the army on the ground would then go ahead and take over. And it was very prevalent at towns such as Modlin and Warsaw, in which the Stuka dive bombers were very, very effective. Because if the tanks and the people on the ground just had to battle these towns alone, it would have been a very long, drawn-out, and hindering battle. So it was very important that these dive bombers kind of injured the people on the ground so then that the ground forces could take over. So in conclusion, I want to just reiterate that the Treaty of Versailles limited Germany, and that they went back and they drew upon old plans. But with planes, communication of radio, and tanks, they were able to take those old plans and combine them with these new weapons and create Blitzkrieg. So tanks, communication of radio, and planes were the reason why Blitzkrieg was successful, and was the reason why Germany could Poland could surrender by September 27th, in between that Robert Cetino 2 to 4 week span of time. Now, on a side note, I also want to add that in my research, I found a similar theme in all of my sources. In that while the Treaty of Versailles was going on, there was this drive, there was this need to adapt and really find a way to keep the military strong. And it just led me to this conclusion that in times of hardship, or when there's severe limitations, that armies will find a way, or intellectuals will always find a way to keep military strong and powerful. But that's another argument in itself. Thank you for listening.